Hello friends, Nils here and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're gonna be diving into Korthia, the brand new zone introduced with the patch 9.1, coming with 2 new factions, Intense Advance and the Archivist Codex. In this video we're mostly gonna focus on the second one, as it is strongly tied to player power. So let's have a look. The Archivist Codex is essentially a Venari 2.0 system, working in a very similar way. Reputation works exactly the same way, unlike your normal faction status, being granted up to tier 6 this time, aka Exalted. Our new currency goes by the name of Catalog Research that has a cap of 12,500. Once we get to tier 6, we have access to the brand new socket items for Season 2 of Shadowlands, as well as the coded upgrade system that works the same exact way as it did in patch 9.0. The Archivist is also a domination socket upgrader, but at the time of filming this video we don't have access to the sockets yet, so we will cover that in a future video. Now let's have a look on how to grant reputation. Starting off with the easiest one, we have 3 daily quests. They're very easy to do and they're not really time consuming. Moving on, we have a whole bunch of rares scattered in and out of the rifts, which I will explain how they work in a bit. There are also a bunch of chests and Anima Vessels around the map, inside and outside of the rifts, that have a daily/weekly cap. Last but not least, there is a whole bunch of elite treasures around Korthia, specifically for different types, and to cap things, we have purple mobs that drop a tiny bit of catalog research. I also want to mention Zovaal's Vault for this current time, and for people who just started grinding reputation and don't have access to rift keys at tier 4, as it can be really helpful providing an extra rift or 2 every day. So let's explain everything one by one and how they function. Once you enter a rift, you basically phase into an alternate dimension of Korthia. You don't see any of your normal mobs. You mostly just see Sage and some elementals. There is 2 ways of entering the rift. First, you will need a repaired rift key, which is a personal rift stone. They have a low chance of dropping from areas around the island, and they're also sold by the Archivist once you get to tier 4 reputation status. We also have collapsing rift stones, which work as group rift stone keys. Once you pop it, a portal will spawn and everybody can jump into it. Something important to note is that you must always be the last one to enter if you use the item, as the portal will despawn whenever you enter. They can be loaded from Zovaal's Vault with a 100% chance of dropping, and there is a small chance to get 2 of them per day. Now let's have a look at the rares around the island. Here we have a map of Korthia with every rare spawn, starting on with the white dots on the map and the rares that have a spawn timer without any specific requirements. The 2 yellow dots require a teleporter repair kit to activate the event, which can be bought from the Archivist for 50 catalog research, as well as having a low chance to drop around the island. The purple dots are rares that require a riftstone to be triggered. As you can see, we have 3 of them on the map. Somewhere around them will always be a rift portal, which you can get access to the rift. Once inside, if you interact with the mob, you will make them attackable. However, you are pulling yourself and the rare outside of the rift, so keep that in mind that you might lose your riftstone in the process. On the very south of the map, there is also a darker purple dot. That particular rare is only killed inside of the rift, so killing it will still leave you with time spent inside the rift. There is also 4 Covenant specific rares, but at the time of filming this video, these mobs have not yet been introduced. On the right side of the island there is a daily chest that requires 3 keys to be unlocked that are scattered in nearby locations in one of the dotted parts of the map. Some of them are easy to miss, so make sure you pay attention. The orange dot is another rare that needs a specific RP to trigger from Caretaker Kadi. Once interacted, you will be given a buff which will allow you to follow some footsteps until you find the mob. Lastly, we have 3 more rares that are randomly RP triggered around the island. They're usually announced in the chat, and there should be a giant portal that can be seen from anywhere in Korthia, so keep an eye out for them. The Maw is useless for the most part, however we have 3 new rares inside of the rift. These rares do not give any catalog research, so unless you're chasing them for achievements or mounts, there is not really a reason to kill them. The important thing about the Maw is the stolen Anima Vessels. In order to see them, you must first buy an item called Anima Tracker that requires friendly status with Death's Advance. You should hit friendly after doing every campaign quest in Korthia. The orange dots have the locations of the stolen Anima Vessels located inside of the rifts. They are weekly capped and are capped at 3. The light blue dots are Anima Vessels outside of the rift around the Maw and are capped at 2. There could be more potential slots, as there is very fresh info, and there is a chance that the spawns might change with every different Covenant assault in the Maw. This video was filmed on the 2nd day of the patch, so stuff might be subject to change, but for now this info should be on point. Going back to Korthia, while we're still inside of the rift, there are 4 rift-bound chests that work on a daily basis as opposed to the vessels that are weekly. Our white dot on the map is Venari. Venari is inside the rift and offers a quest where she asks you to find Zovaal's vault and bring it to her, which can potentially spawn in any of the 4 grey dots around the map. Regarding the lootable treasures, there is 4 different types of mini treasures scattered around Korthia. 3 of them are standard and can be seen in the pictures below, as well as the 4th one that changes every day. So far I have spotted treasures like piles of bones, mining nodes, etc. It is rumored that each of them has a cap of daily 5, however that may not be 100% accurate. They should usually be seen in the minimap, however sometimes they don't, and I'm not sure whether that is intended or is just one of the many bugs that have been around ever since the patch got introduced. Something important to note is that the treasures spawn 15 seconds after the first person loots them, so try to be coordinated with the group when you start looting. Lastly, to cap things off, we have the purple mobs, as I like to call them. Once you get the all-seeing crystal recipe from the Archivist, you will be able to see mobs that carry catalog research with a purple outline as seen in the picture. These mobs can essentially be grinded forever, so the more you kill, the more you can stack up the research. There's no daily cap for them, so you can just run around the island and kill every mob that you see. Once you get to tier 2 reputation status, Archivist will sell you 4 unique keys, each opening a specific chest around Korthia that rewards you with a big chunk of reputation catalog research. The location for each chest are marked on the map. Zovaal's vault that was previously mentioned is a big chest that is inside the rift, located somewhere in the Maw in one of the 4 locations that were shown earlier in the picture. It looks something like it looks on the picture below, as you can see, and once found, you can right click to interact with it and essentially tie yourself with it on chains, and then you have to drag it back to Venari. This whole process is gonna take you between 5 and 7 minutes depending on the spawn of the chest, so when you try to essentially allocate your time in the rift, you should keep that in mind. Once you drag it to Venari, you can load it, and inside you can find the collapsing rift zones. Another thing I would like to show you is how to access the island of the south. Simply just jump with a slowful or a glider and you will die somewhere in the middle of it. Once you release, you will be on the other side of the island, so simply run to your corpse and just pick it up. In order to get back to the mainland, there is a flayed wing somewhere where you can click on it and it will simply fly you back to the camp. However, an alternate way is simply by going to the very last side of the island and just gliding across. Lastly, I would guys like to show you a route that I think is pretty efficient in terms of how you manage your time within the rift. We don't have infinite supply of keys right now since we're not on tier 4 reputation status yet, so you should try to be as efficient as possible. Starting on, you will head to the south side of the map, where you will rift and you will kill the observer mob that is inside the rift. This rare is not soloable, so I would suggest that you do it with other group of people. As soon as you kill the mob, you will just glide across to the number 2, just like I showed you in the previous video, and you will start looking for chests around Korthia. There is 4 waste-bound caches around the rift, so make sure you grab them all. They tend to spawn like proximity, so there is a high chance that you will find like one on the north side, one on the south side, one on the east and one on the west side, so just run around Korthia until you find all of them. Once you're done with the chest, you should head over to the Beast Warrens, check if the Anima Vessel is in the cave, and then check for Zovaal's vault. Once you find Zovaal's vault, you should have enough time to drag it across. Alternatively, on the weeks that you don't need to farm Anima Vessels, or you don't want to do Zovaal's vault, because you have already done it or you have another rift zone with a group of friends or something, you can go for it later, you should wormhole to the top part of the Maw, and you should just glide across to the river and search for the Anima Vessels that are on the north side of the Maw. So I believe that was it for this video. I think we kinda covered everything in regarding Korthia and how you should approach the daily rep grind. If there is any questions or something you guys didn't quite get, feel free to drop a comment below, or ideally hop on my Discord server, or click on my Twitch link, as I'm live for many hours a day, so you will probably get a faster response on Discord or Twitch. Anyway, if there's anything else, feel free to ask. If you found this video helpful, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, it will help me out a lot. And until the next video, peace out.